So the question is, what does it mean to be an apprentice of Jesus? Well, simply put, the assignment is that we would pick up where he left off. That means that we're going to have to think, we're going to have to feel, we're going to have to say, we're going to have to do what Jesus would do if he were in our place. To do what Jesus would do if he were in our place. Now, that's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of facets to that. But one of the things that comes to mind is a story that we come across in Matthew chapter 14. It's the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. He not only is sharing the good news, he becomes good news to those people. Now, the context to that story is really interesting. It's the beheading of John the Baptist. Remember who John the Baptist is. He is a looming figure in the kingdom of God. He's the prophesied forerunner to the Messiah, and he's Jesus' cousin. He's family. So when news comes to Jesus as he's ministering to the crowd, he gets this news and he's just devastated by it. And so he stops what he's doing. He turns to his disciples and he says, hey, let's get in the boat and let's go find a place where I can be alone. But the crowd see him leave, and they're not to be denied. They follow around the lake and they find Jesus. And when Jesus sees them, what does he do? How does he react? Well, he has compassion on them. And so he begins to heal the sick, and then he performs this miracle because they had been with him all day. They had gone a long way to find him. They had to go home that night. He feeds the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. So what's the point of all that? Well, Jesus did what he didn't feel like doing. He had to leave his comfort zone. He had to leave behind what he preferred to do to respond to this opportunity to be the good news to people. You know, I found in the work that we do in church planting in Africa and Asia that when we attach acts of compassion with the good news, the credibility that it brings to Jesus, the credibility that it brings to the Christ follower just goes off the charts. So as you're thinking about what this means to be an apprentice of Jesus, I want to challenge you. In the world that he's placed you in, that Jesus has placed you in, would you ask yourself, what would Jesus do if he were in my place? That means you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to leave behind what you prefer. You're going to have to take a risk. And as you do, as you become the incarnation of the good news to the people in the world that God has placed you in, you're going to see your effectiveness, your input, the transformation that happens through your life in their lives to be off the charts. You know, as you go on that journey, I've been challenged, even as I'm speaking to you, that I would join you in it. So God bless you as you figure out what that means to do as Jesus would do if he were in your place. God bless you.